Hello, I'm Matthew Richardson and welcome to the Whiteboard, brought to you by British Paints. Today we're going to focus on a guy who really came of age last year, Daniel Wells. He achieved his first All-Australian Guernsey in 2011 and shared the best and fairest with Andrew Swallow. Let's have a close look at the style which won the Kangaroo Star so much praise over the last 18 months. Daniel Wells, he certainly is a beautiful athlete to watch run. He really glides across the turf. He's got a beautiful, smooth running action, but he's also got great acceleration. He really makes everyone else look like they're in slow motion at times. You can see the pain on Sammy Gilbert's face there. Wells looks very comfortable. He's got really good speed endurance also, which means he can make multiple leads and multiple sprints in one effort. He's a classic 80-metre player for mine. He can run, carry the football and then deliver it long. The other thing that he has got, he bounces back to the turf really quickly. That's just a sign of a beautiful athlete. Let's have a look now at how dangerous he can be with the ball in his hands. Well, he certainly is a skillful weapon, Daniel Wells. He's got most areas of the game covered these days. As we said, he is really quick. His skills are absolutely beautiful. He's got great endurance. He's able to run all day, good speed endurance also. He's got a good spring and can take a mark. I really love his work at ground level, and he's got great recovery, as we saw before. He gets up off the deck really quickly, and I guess that explains why he's #1 in North Melbourne for these areas. 80 metres gained. Every club needs a line breaker and an 80-metre player. He certainly is that. He's #1 for kicks and effective kicks. He's #1 for loose ball gets. He's also #1 for handball receives. You see him getting the football there. You need players who can run and carry. He puts the ball inside 50 the most, and he's the best at goal assists. He also gets forward and kicks goals. How often do we see him running through 50 and kicking long goals? We did catch him on the ISO camera on this particular night against the Saints, coming in to tackle Lee Montagna here. Well, just a little clip to the chin. That might have been looked at. I think there was nothing in that, though, that's for sure. I love this one, though. Kicks a goal. Don't tell me every player hasn't done this in the AFL. Has a little bit of a glance up at the screen. How good am I looking? Look at the cannons there. It's not Jack Riewoldt-like, but he certainly didn't mind a little look at himself. The other asset which Wellesley has is that he sets up a lot of his teammates into scoring positions. I reckon this is just about the best aspect of Daniel Wells' game these days. He is a very unselfish player. I reckon he loves bringing teammates into play. There's no doubt about that. And if you look at this one here, the forward handball to Boomer Harvey, releasing him into space, he brings teammates into play, puts them into the right positions. And if you get Boomer Harvey in that position, he's going to run in and kick a goal every single day of the week. The other thing he does really well is he has an ability to run at high speed, yet still execute the skill and make the right decision. If you have a look at him here, he is booming away from Gilbert there. He's struggling, shaking his head, but he has the ability to still have the poise to look across to the fat side to Hansen, who gives it to Petrie. That's an easy goal for North Melbourne. They're team-building goals. That's why he's #1 for goal assists at the club. He just finds a way to bring his teammates into play. This one here is just great poise and decision-making. Gets it across to Zeeble. Zeeble finds Thomas. That's just perfect, and that's why I love the way he goes about that. Time to take a look now at how he goes in the clearances. He's not really an inside clearance player, Daniel Wells. He's not a crash and bash, being on the bottom of the pack tour sort of a player like a Joel Selwood or a Trent Cotchin, and he doesn't need to be at North Melbourne. He's got players like Swallow, Zeeble and Adams that do that work for him. He's an outside clearance player. He sort of sits around the outside of the clearance, probably 2 or 3 metres away, and he really times his run perfectly and gets the ball on the move. That's what you want him to do, because he's got great pace, and if he can get it in space on the outside and get the ball moving forward, that's a great asset for North Melbourne. He doesn't mind getting in there and winning the contested ball, though. He is 4th at the club in this area, and he will do it when he has to be, but that's not his #1 job for this club. His job is to try and get it at pace on the outside and get it moving forward. Let's see what the Saints did on this night to try and stop him. Well, how do you stop Daniel Wells these days? Well, I reckon it's a pretty hard job. Because of his endurance and because of that electrifying speed that he has, it's just about impossible. What Sammy Gilbert did try and do on this night was try and put body on him, and around the clearances that was really important, because if you don't put body on him and he's able to time his run and get the ball at pace, he's impossible to stop. There's no doubt about that. So body on around the clearances is really important. Once it gets into this open field scenario, if you don't block him and stop his run, well, it's good night, because he's just got too much speed. There's hardly any player in the competition that would be able to go with him in that situation. Gilbert put body on him there, but didn't put enough on, and he was able to get away. And once he gets into space, he'll turn you inside out like this and be able to dispose of the ball very easily. Although the Kangaroos don't possess a lot of quick, skillful players and outside runners, they do keep the ball moving quickly, and Daniel Wells is a key factor in that area. The Roos have got Carlton this week, and ironically Wells could have been running around in the navy blue jumper, because he was taken pick number 2 in the 2002 National Draft, and that was the draft that the choice was taken off the Blues for salary cap breaches. I'd be filthy about that. Wouldn't Brett Ratten love to have him in the side at the moment? Thanks for joining us. See you next week on the Whiteboard.